what we have done, so Cumulus as a cost management platform has been supporting AWS and Microsoft Azure for quite some time. It does that from the cost management side of things, which includes visibility, monitoring, and also cost optimization. And it also helps customers stay compliant. And by that, I mean, if you're following PCI, DSS compliance standards, or if you're following HIPAA because you're in healthcare, or you have NIST set of compliances that you need to follow, Cumulus helps you with that. So what we are doing to that strong portfolio of products that we are already supporting, we are adding VMware's vCenter environment. So what that will do is for customers who are truly hybrid cloud, who want to extend their VMware base into and manage that along with AWS and Azure, now that is possible through one single platform. And in this release, what we are focused mostly on is identifying those idle resources, right? Resources that have been spun up and not being used by any of your developers, or also giving you some granular visibility through our reports and dashboards to make those informed decisions. And what we want to drive through that is more cost savings, right? Because we know that cloud budgets are not growing, they are in fact shrinking. So saving money by identifying those resources that are just eating up your budget would be a good step towards that. Plus, we also want to kind of move you towards more strategic activities. So finding those idle resources automatically is what we have on the roadmap next. And then what that will do is kind of help you steer away from those manual worksheets that you used to keep to track what resources have been spun up, who is using that, what is the dormant capacity that you can use for other workloads. So that's number one integration that we are doing in Cumulus, which is around VMware vCenter. The second thing that we are doing is, as I mentioned, we already support Azure in Cumulus, and we want to help customers save more money in Cumulus or in Azure. So we are supporting 4 new services which are in Microsoft Azure around load balancers. I mean, we have seen this day in and day out, right? Those snapshots which are taken and they just lie there, and you're spending money towards that, we will help you identify those unused snapshots, and you can kind of save money through that. Or um, when you turn down a VM, maybe the unattached disks that should have gone down with that or should have been turned off with that are still lying there and eating up your budget. So through this release, what we are doing is giving you automated recommendations so that when you log into Cumulus, you will see recommendations in terms of how much money you can save in the environment itself. And as a business value, again, you'll get automated alerts, as I talked about, and you'll be able to slice and dice this data more granularly. If you want to do it by service, now you will be able to identify which service you can save more money on. And that will help you even in terms of um, planning for the future. So with that said, just a quick reminder that if you have any questions, please enter those in the Q&A panel, or you can also use the chat window for that. And with that, let me just pause my sharing of this PowerPoint and quickly jump into the demo environment. So once I log into my Cumulus environment, I can go under resources, I can go into service manager. And once I do that, I come to this page where I can see everything on one single page, right? So I have AWS, Azure, VMware, and I'll click on VMware because that's the new technology that we have integrated into this platform. And now I can see which VMs are running in VMware. And not just this, right? I mean, currently we are focused on the compute side of things, but we'll slowly kind of increase that portfolio of services that we support on the VMware side of things. The other thing that I can also do is go into Cost Service Advisor. And what Service Advisor does is it helps you save more money. It helps you identify those resources which are, again, idle and not used. I can see here AWS and Azure savings. Again, this is a demo environment. That's why these numbers might look a little smaller. But the key towards this is if you are consuming VMware or Azure to a larger extent, these numbers will be quite massive. So that's the vCenter integration. I also mentioned the Azure potential savings, right? So what we have done here is if I click on one of the environments, now I can see all the resources that are running there, right? And if this was an actual customer account, I have seen accounts where we are supporting hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of savings. So if I come to this tab, I should be able to identify that, okay, these are the public IPs that I can turn off or I can just kill so as to save money. And this is quite simple as compared to that laborious maintaining all the data in worksheets and kind of understanding what's happening in vCenter or in Microsoft Azure. So this becomes that single pane of glass.